happy sitting there.
40 seconds or 20 seconds.
All right. We're going to go ahead and get started on time here. Give me a couple seconds for the public stream to kick on at 11.
5 seconds, or we're not on time. 2 seconds. Oh, you missed it.
All right.
It's almost perfect.
Very good. It is 11 a.m. On June 26th, and we'll be calling these regularly. Let's just stop that and try again. Calling the regular meeting of the Libertarian Party of Ohio's Executive Committee to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mr. Cavoli.
Present.
Mr. Glasgow.
Present.
Mr. Moeller.
Here.
Ms. Flower. Here. Mr. Gill. Anyone heard from him?
Call in user 3. I wonder if that's him.
Could be.
Hey, it's Chris Gill.
Oh,
There you
hey. Thank you. Mr. Strelo.
Point of personal privilege, Mr. Strelo is in the queue waiting to be admitted.
Perfect. And Mr. Nana.
I'm here.
Okay.
I don't see Mr. Shirlow in the lobby. He may have the wrong
Meeting link.
connection information.
Jim, he's in chat if you want to.
All right. All right. I have sent him instructions to reconnect. Hopefully he will be here shortly. I am seeing a quorum and would like to get started here. Oh. Nope. All right. Would like to get started. If there are any disclosures, conflicts of interest, or other ethical disclosures to be made by the members of the body, please do so now. All right. Hearing none, we will pause again briefly to see if we can get Mr. Shirlow here before we start with the agenda.
While we're paused, I will have an amendment to the agenda. It's
I
just
did anticipate
for
that.
future knowledge.
I am anticipating a few.
I'm so glad we tabled accountability now because I still don't have language, to my knowledge.
The language got denied the first time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad we did that because it would have been a waste of time.
Oh.
Are they resubmitting? Or let's see what happens. Usually, they're pretty good about telling you what you did wrong, so you can
The
fix
AG
it.
did a very good job.
They usually do.
I read the whole AG.
Ghost is pretty
summary.
Was it like a nature thing or just kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, usually they don't kick it unless it's pretty bad. What was it?
I don't remember. It was something about the way they had structured the law wasn't actually legal.
Oh, okay.
Right. It might have been that they were trying to tie too many things together, which is my fear.
That's a big
Yeah.
one. Let me pull it up.
They when you're voting, because if it does make to the ballot, it's an
It's gotta be
issue.
a single issue.
Yes, it's an
Right.
issue, not a collection of issues for one piece. Yeah.
All right, we've reached the agenda time to move forward, so we're going to go ahead and do so now.
Okay.
Moving to the adoption of the agenda, which was previously distributed to members as well as the public. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Mr. Nana?
Yes, sir. I move that we strike division reports because there are no reports from several, and the one report that is here, the gentleman is not here to present. So it seemed like it would be a waste of time.
I'll second.
All right, there is a motion to strike section 4 reports from party divisions from today's meeting. Is there any objection?
No.
Makes your job a lot easier.
All right, then we will strike section 4 from today's agenda, making the new section 4 committee reports, and the rest numbered sequentially. Are there any other amendments to the agenda?
Yes, I'm going to amend to strike Convention Oversight Committee report from committee reports, as there's nothing that has changed from the last one.
I'll second that.
All right, so one moment, Mr. Strillo is here.
Okay.
Here we are.
Welcome, Mr. Strillo. We are presently dealing with the agenda. You've only missed the motion to strike section 4 division report.
Okay, thank you.
So, Mr. Glasgow, I heard you wanted to strike the 2021 conference organization.
2020 convention report.
2022.
2022 convention report, sorry.
The Convention Oversight Committee. So
Yes.
new 4B. All right. And Mr. Nance seconded. Is there any objection to striking the 2022 Convention Oversight Committee report? Hearing none, we will remove that from the agenda as well. Are there any other motions to amend the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Nana.
I'm going to move to strike the 2021 Conference Organizing Committee report, seeing as how I'm the outgoing chair and there is no report. And I assume we're going to talk about that a little bit later on anyhow.
Might I encourage you to rephrase that as eliminating the rest of that section and
Sure.
moving the topic to new business?
Sure. I move to strike section 4, all of section 4, which is the remainder of it, and place in new business 2021 Conference Organizing Committee discussion. As new, it would be new letter E, and would move new business from the floor down to F.
All right. So there's the motion to strike the remainder of section 4, adding under new business item E, the new item E, before business from the floor, the 2021 Conference Organizing Committee discussion. Is there a second?
Yes. Second.
Actually,
For
before
10
I ask for a
minutes.
second. Okay, thank you. 10
posterity.
minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Ms. Flower, you're still all right with that second? All right. Is there any objection? All right, and that motion carries as well. Any other changes to the agenda?
This number 4, and this number 5, and this number 6.
All right. Hearing none, I will go ahead and I will, from the chair, move the adoption of the agenda as amended.
Second.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the agenda as amended? All right, hearing none, we will roll on with this agenda. Please spare me a moment while we get that uploaded to replace the old version for members to be able to view on Drive. All right. New PDF has been uploaded for members. Same link, Same place. Moving on then. Approval of minutes from the previous meetings. Ms. Flower.
I would like to move to approve the meeting minutes from the April 24th meeting.
Which were previously distributed in
Previously
the Office of the
distributed.
Secretary folder, as I understand.
Yes.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Nana.
There's just one tiny change. I believe this was a carryover from the template. We don't have 9 members. It says 9 of 9 members. It should be
Oh, yeah,
7
thank
of
you.
7.
I will correct that.
Other than that, I don't
Anything
see,
else?
I don't see anything other than that. Just that.
Thank Yeah.
All right. Is there any other debate or commentary on the minutes from the April 24th meeting as corrected? All right, hearing none, I will call for the vote. Is there any objection to the adoption of the minutes from April 24th's regular meeting as corrected? Hearing none, they are approved. Review of business conducted between meetings. Run through this really quickly as we're running just a hair behind. We recognize the Montgomery County affiliate, the Erie County affiliate, and the Delaware County affiliate. Congratulations and thanks to those in each of those counties for the new organizations, and we certainly all wish them the best of luck. We also passed amendments to the budget to add lines for the 2022 Convention and Sustaining Member Program, as well as the 2021 conference. I had all that since April. All right, as long as we haven't missed anything there, the minutes will reflect the roll call votes. Moving on, reports from party officers. Office of the Secretary, Ms. Flower.
Oh, did we remove that?
No, the officers are still there.
Never mind. I do not have a specific report this month.
Very well. I assume there is no comment on the not report. All right. Office of the Treasurer, Mr. Moeller.
The report was distributed. We have a little over $20,600 available, about $7,500 earmarked for the 2021 conference. I guess a couple other highlights. We had 21 new recurring donations that began the month of June, which is, as far as I can tell, a high point for those. So that's great. And we are, with the $22,300 that we've raised so far this year, we're 150% of our goal to date and 75% to our year-end budget, which is good. The one other thing I wanted to bring up is Linda Comstock has been donating QuickBooks Online in kind for the past year or so. And we've looked into other open source software, including a package called Accounting, and none of them really handle all of the needs that we have. So I would move that we amend the IT budget to increase from $200 to $1,100 for this year and authorize the purchase of QuickBooks Online by LPO.
All right. Give
I'll
me
second
one
that.
moment to. Yeah. I just want to pull up the amended budget in front of me. All right. You are looking, Mr. Moeller, to add an additional, to add to the IT division's variable line.
Add to the variable line, yeah. We can
Okay.
add to the fixed line if you want. It's $70 a month before tax, so I'd just add a $900 to it. I feel like this would be a fit.
Sure. Yeah, I don't have a strong preference there. I would say, I mean, hell, you're the one doing the accounting of this. So if you want to consider it a experiment for the balance of the budget year and put it there, in variable, that's fine. We can roll it into the year budget in January.
Okay.
All right, so the motion is to increase the variable division budget for information technology to $1,100 from $200 in order to cover the expense of providing accounting software for the treasurer's office. That motion has been made and seconded. Is there any objection?
I just have some questions. The
Mr.
big
Weiss.
being, the big question being here is that we are using this, right? Like,
All of our accounting depends on QuickBooks Online right now.
okay, that's just what I want to make sure is
Yes.
we're going to be using this, and
Yes.
we're past the spreadsheet point. So,
Yep.
Is it a tiered service? Is there like?
It is. So actually, that's a good point. So right now, there's a P&L spreadsheet that Linda's been keeping up as her hobby, I think. So this will add one feature to our QuickBooks Online that we don't currently have. That's a budgeting feature. So the P&L spreadsheet is going to stop being updated unless she wants to do it in her spare time.
just from you added 900.
I added 900, which is a year's worth of it because it's I think we have to purchase 1 year of it for that rate.
Well, then
I
it should
think
go
I-
unfixed because it'll carry over to
Yeah.
the next budget. It has to go unfixed at that point.
I agree.
Okay.
So then, yeah, I have a couple other comments then. The first being that to keep this budget balanced, because we were already out of balance we're minus $209.78 based on the county growth fund that wasn't initially accounted for. And this will put us minus $1,109.78. So we need to move it from somewhere or increase the expected donations.
Yeah, I would say that since we're already 75% of our year in budget, 50% through the year, that we should just add to our budget.
Right now we're expected 30,000 in donations.
Well, I don't think we have to change it. That just means we need to make a better budget next year.
Yeah,
That's
you're right.
Well, I mean, we shouldn't budget or operate a budget in the red.
Let me
That's not true. That's not true at all. That's ridiculous.
let me go
that's
ahead
the whole
and
point of knowing that you were in the red is so that you know, okay, next time we should expect more donations. We've been falling into a very bad habit as a committee of continually amending our budget throughout the year, which is kind of pointless. Then we don't know what we did right or wrong. So
Okay, that's a fair point.
yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, that's fine.
Plus, it's less motions we have to make.
I just okay. I'm just making the point.
I
So
totally
then
understand what
My
you're
only
saying.
the only suggestion.
allow
that's
allow
gonna
me to
carry
step in here
through
real quick, guys. The balanced budget requirement is a constitutional one. It comes from Article 5, Section 5. However, I do interpret the balancing of the budget to be on an annual basis. And so, yeah, if our tracking along the way varies a bit, I think that is acceptable. So if anyone would like to move to amend, it would be in order. However, I don't think it is strictly required.
I'm going to move to amend to transfer it from variable into fixed.
I'll second.
Sure. Is there any debate on the amendment to instead place this additional $900 into the IT infrastructure fixed budget line instead of variable? All right. Is there any objection to so doing? Then without objection, the motion is amended. We return to the main question to add $900 to the IT infrastructure fixed budget, which would be increasing it from $3,500 to $4,400 for the budget year. Is there any further debate on the main motion?
Well, the main motion isn't just to change the budget; it's and to purchase QuickBooks Online. That's a key point to this motion is that we're subscribing to QuickBooks Online.
Sure.
This isn't
Yes.
just a budget change.
Ms. Secretary, do you have the motion as amended?
Basically to, the motion is to amend the IT budget, the fixed line of the IT budget from 3,500 to 4,400 to purchase QuickBooks Online.
All right, and hearing no further debate on the matter, we will proceed to a vote. Is there any objection to the motion as read back by the secretary? Congratulations, it has been passed, and we will buy us some accounting software. And I think I would speak for everyone in the room when I say that while Ms. Comstock may choose to maintain the P&L spreadsheet out of nostalgia or habit or hobby, as has been suggested, I certainly would encourage her not to, and hope she enjoys a life free of that responsibility for the rest of her days.
Yes. I'm not a fan of power pivots.
Here, here.
All right. That exhausts time on the treasurer's report. Did you have anything further, Mr. Nolan?
No, that's all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Glasgow, your office.
I have no written report. I would just like to refocus and re-emphasize our need to focus on the goals. That we've got a lot of detractors out there that are trying hard at the national level, the state and local level to detract from the ultimate goals of this party, and that we really need to focus on continuing the mission, ignoring the detractors, and doing our jobs. Otherwise, this isn't going to succeed. You know, the whole party is on the verge of a split or a collapse right now if we don't, so we kind of need to push through. And that's all I have at this moment.
Would you yield the balance of your time to the chair?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. I would like to emphatically echo what Mr. Glasgow said. Here's the deal. At the end of the day, we are building a political party from scratch here in Ohio, and the end goal is to have that functioning organization, to be a political force within the state. And we have outlined several goals to get there. We are tracking pretty well to those goals. However, I would like to remind everyone that the how matters. And fundamentally, the events of the last several weeks, nationally, within the state, etc., they have taken a lot out of many of us. We need a few things. First off, we need to fill as many open positions as we can. Everyone that you can think of who's remotely qualified for anything that we need should be recruited, referred, etc. The members of this committee is a fantastic starting point. I have asked the chair of the Central Committee as well to undertake this effort and to reinforce that to the Central Committee members. Nobody is likely to fall out of thin air for us. We have to go out there and work these connections and recruit other people we know within the Liberty Movement to hopefully contribute some of their time to help us get this thing done. There is a lot of work to be done, and it cannot be done on the backs of just the members in this room or even a few of us day to day. That being said, along the way, there is a lot that we can handle in between meetings with our between meetings procedure. There is a lot that we do handle in our meetings. There is also, I feel, a lot that could be better handled with a phone call or with a conversation between members rather than the full attention of the entire body immediately every time. And balancing how much time we ask for of each other against the needs and devices available is an important one. With that said, we are trying to reach, by the end of this term, 66 county affiliates. That is a lot. We are on a fantastic track. All credit to Ms. Gilson and the effort she has been putting in to recruit people there. We are aiming to, by the end of this term, be running a budget that is in the six figures. And we are actually looking like that might be possible as well. All also, I think, credit to, for one, our improved tracking and accounting of that money and our improved retention and collection of that, especially through the membership program. In huge thanks to Mr. Glasgow, who does that on top of his other responsibilities. And finally, we are looking to work out the last piece today, which is a ballot access strategy, which feeds right into our elections. However, even without the ballot access, I will point out that we can still get people with a liberty focus elected in various nonpartisan races and off-year elections throughout the state. We have many opportunities to do that, and we should post, by the end of the term, half a dozen ballot wins. Whether those are endorsed candidates, L candidates, or just candidacies that can help organize and facilitate in the interest of liberty, want to see that. And that one is going to be particularly hard and require an insane amount of hours from candidates and their teams throughout the state. Hopefully everyone feels that this is somewhat demanding. It is an ambitious plan, and if you're not feeling like that's what you're interested in, if that's not your top priority, if that's not something that we want to be committed to, we should all have some conversations about how to get the support that this organization needs if you or others can't provide it. That being said, now I will drop into a few things of a slightly lighter tone. We also are fortunate to have been qualified again through the size of our affiliate for some seats on the national committees, convention platform, and credentials committees. This is, as always, an excellent opportunity, and we will come up to those in new business. We are excited, of course, to have this voice from the state party into the agenda of the national committee's business at the convention, and certainly hope that we will maximize that, especially platform, which we'll touch on later. Lastly, I would like to comment briefly and directly on the continuing situation with the New Hampshire affiliate. Ultimately, I appreciate the support of the members of this committee, for one, in the statement that we made, and I would like to take a moment to recognize the committee for getting themselves collectively together and doing the right thing after that letter was sent, and having things put back in order according to the rules. However, I would also like to assure all of the members of this body and our members of the party that, aside from a straight-out argument over disaffiliation, none of the LPO's assets are subject to any of the unfortunate circumstances which New Hampshire's did find themselves. This was, in fact, a goal of the projects which were undertaken between 2018 and 2019, and that has been largely successful, as well as giving us that guarantee. So with that directly addressed, I will pause in case anyone would like to ask a direct question. Mr. Nana.
I'd just like to clarify that last piece is partially true, but not totally true. If National disaffiliates Ohio, we are going to lose access to all the data they send us. So we will get no more data dumps. We'll get no more membership information from National. We'll be completely on our own in terms of membership data and all the rest of that.
That's true. The inflow would stop. However, we would not lose access to what was there. Thank you for making the clarifying point. Anything else? All right. Then with a minute and 20 seconds left on the clock of the time that I took, we'll move ahead to old business, which has 0 minutes on it. So I'm going to use that time just to note that
Orders,
Skip me.
the reports from the national committee members.
Oh, yep. Sorry, Mr. Nana. You've got 5 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. There's a lot of stuff going on at National. Not very much of it positive. It's probably easier to take questions at this point rather than ramble on about what you already know is going on. So I'm open the floor to questions from anybody.
Okay, what is the general feeling among your colleagues at the national level, Dustin, on the
I'm
conduct
sorry, I
of
did
Ms.
not hear that
Harlos and the
question.
attempt to remove her? What is
I'm sorry, you're
your
cutting in and out.
thing in and out? Can you hear me?
You might want to cut your video so that your voice comes through. There you go.
All right, is that better?
Still not here. I
Yes.
think so. Yes.
Okay, I was wondering amongst
Maybe.
your colleagues at the LNC regional level, what is the general temperature of the feelings about what is going on with the attempt to remove Ms. Harlos as LNC secretary, or her conduct that is being used as the catalyst for that attempt?
The motion to remove Harlos was ruled out of order the first time for deficiencies in the actual motion itself. It referenced the wrong part of the policy manual. The second motion was ruled out of order for deficiencies because it did not bring forth proper charges. After the second motion was ruled out of order, the movers decided to dispense with that motion and not bring it back up, at least for the time being, I guess. So that's no longer on the table as of right now, if that answers your question.
It does, because I had read about the rulings being out of order, but I wasn't sure if there was still an attempt to go or not. So, thank you.
Anyone else? Nobody has anything. I'm done.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that time, Mr. Nana. And thank you for your continued service to the party and the LNC. Even when it's not easy.
Yeah, I suppose one thing I forgot I should mention, the meeting in Sparks, Reno, that was supposed to be in September is most likely no longer going to be in Reno Sparks. The hotel has informed us that there is no vacancy, and that they won't open up any room blocks for us. So that pretty much takes the decision out of our hands. There's a discussion of maybe moving it to Cincinnati/Louisville or somewhere around there, which I'm going to push hard for because committee made a promise to visit every region and prioritize regions that they haven't been to in the longest, and they're breaking that promise, and I make sure to remind them that every time because in terms of order, Region 8 is the longest one that we've been to. Region 3 is number 2. We haven't been to Region 2 for an LNC meeting in, I think it's been like a decade, so or longer. So maybe not quite a decade, but
The last one was when the convention was here.
for sure when the convention was here, so it would have been 2014. Yeah, so it's been 7 years at least that it's been here.
All right. If there's nothing further from Mr. Nana, move ahead, touching briefly over the old business. The ballot initiative by Accountability Now Ohio remains tabled. They had to resubmit to the AG's office with notes. So I assume that we'll see an actual acceptance in the near future, but until that time comes, this matter remains tabled. And we will be getting into new business now. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, may I comment on that? Old business first?
I'm sorry?
May I comment on that old business item first?
Yeah, go
Briefly?
ahead.
Well, I know that Dr. Fricky has been spending a lot of time working on it, so I have a feeling that they must have gotten their act together. Maybe we could reach out to them and see if they have the new language already for the next meeting.
It's not if they have the language, it's whether it's approved. And I just submitted the last, I put in chat the link to the Attorney General's website regarding their last submitted language, which was dated on May 12th of 2021. So when they resubmit 1,000 signatures with their new language, then it will go to the AG for review, and he's got 30 days to review it and resubmit it. So what we're waiting for is the approval from the AG.
Okay, so what
Not
Dr. Fink is
necessarily their
gathering
new-
signatures. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, the language of the tabling made it such that until the state has approved the change, we will not take up the question of endorsement.
Correct.
So that our endorsement will be only on the actual ballot language. All right. New business then. We have plenty of time scheduled for this, so some of these might take a little longer, a little less, that's fine. First up, 2021 Conference Awards. As many of you may be aware, there is an intent to have an awards banquet at dinner on Saturday for our conference, as is somewhat traditional. There are a few awards that we have commonly given out. And I did want to make sure the opportunity was presented to the body that if there were any others or special recognitions that we wished to make as an organization at this awards banquet, that you have a chance to present those. So this is the time for that. Also, if there are any formalities as far as the process for nominations that you all would like to make for considering those, that would also be in order now.
I'd recommend the chair just appoint an ad hoc committee of himself and 2 others to distribute it, accept nominations for the various awards from members throughout the state, and then appoint those awards as they feel fit.
That is my intent on disposing of nominations. Is there anything else? Does anybody have any particular commentary or recommendations for other awards or recognitions that should be given?
Other comments, just you and I need to discuss the AV requirements for this, so I make sure we're prepared.
Yes, it is on my list to sit down with you, Derek. We will hopefully have a minute to chat in the next week here. All right. Without any further commentary or motions, then I'm going to go ahead and create the 2021 awards subcommittee, chaired by myself, and I will add to that list of people to review those nominations. Mr. Nana, would you be willing?
To serve on the committee?
Yeah.
Sure. That sounds like something all positive. I'll do that.
All right. I certainly hope it is. And Mr. Strelo, would you be interested in that one as well?
Certainly.
Excellent. Then myself, Mr. Nana, Mr. Strelo will be the 2021 awards committee. Subcommittee, however you please. All right. Anything further on conference awards recognitions?
Yeah, I'm not going to move somebody brand new to be on the platform committee.
Well, I agree.
All right. So
Confirming it's the same email.
we'll move ahead into the fun parts. The LNC's committees, as mentioned, for the 2022 convention. The first up is platform. We have a seat and ranked alternates to grant for the 22 convention platform committee. Mr. Nana.
I feel obligated to pass along that somebody emailed me about a week and a half ago expressing their interest in platform committee. Their name is Alexandra Lipman. I don't have any information beyond that they want to be on the platform committee and that is their name. I told them that I would.
A bit.
Yeah, I know who this person is, but for this purpose, I have no information about them other than their name in the email. I also have interest in the seat myself personally. But
I have a request for information. When's the deadline we need to get back to the LNC about this?
I would have to ask the secretary. I
So-
think it's like, we got a little bit of time. We don't have to do it today.
No,
Yeah.
we do not have to do it today. The deadline for appointment is December 31st of this year. However, earlier is always better. It allows the committee to come together with a bit more time and makes it a little bit less torturous on the members. However, we can afford whatever time we want for whatever process we want to sift through those interested.
Yeah, and as far as the committee meeting and stuff, I don't think they've had a meeting or anything yet. They still are in the process of, well, there's an appoint there. So the LNC appoints an interim chair, and then they will have their first meeting and select their own chair if they so desire. That has not happened yet. So we still have some time. It's not like we're missing meetings or anything. But I would say definitely, like you said, sooner is better.
Might I make the recommendation then that for both of these seats, for the primary alternate for convention and the platform and the one for credentials, we make a formal job posting to our job board, accept all interested applicants, and then take that opportunity to review them so that we can say we equally gave everybody a shot, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we can go based on our knowledge of their experience of the party and the party infrastructure.
It would absolutely be in order to make a motion directing that. I would only suggest that if that is going to be our chosen method, that we also define the deadline for application so that we can get that done in a timely fashion.
Do we, Mr. Chair, do you think we need a motion for this, or can you just do it yourself and have the applications be due by the next executive committee meeting?
If there is no objection to that timeline or method, I am happy to go about it in that fashion, and we will, at the next executive committee meeting, review whatever has been submitted and make our selections. And we can, at that time, decide how many ranked alternates we would like to designate. I would just encourage everyone that no more than 2 is usually sensible, because it just gets crazy after that.
Yeah,
I'm good with all of that.
2 is good for each, I would say.
All right, then I will express our intent that way, that there is the seat and likely, and 2 ranked alternates spots available in job board postings, which will be put together likely later today to afford the maximum amount of time. We will promote those through the usual means and see who all is interested. Please, if anyone comes to any of you all with interest for one of those committees, refer them to the job board, as any applications received not through the job board will not be presented at the next meeting.
Is this
right.
a state-by-state seat or a regional seat?
This is the state seat.
That's a state affiliate seat, yeah.
We're large enough that we get our own seat.
Thank you.
Yep. You only have to represent Ohio's interests, or, whomever's. Yeah, anyway, I just as brief commentary, I was on the so sad 2020 conventions platform committee, and it was a great time. It just, we never actually got to that business. So I would encourage anyone with a passing interest to apply, even if you're not selected as the member to either of these committees. Being an alternate is a great way to participate and stay aware of what's going on. I'm pretty sure I was the first alternate last time around, and it was a fabulous learning experience. So great way to get involved and contribute to hopefully starting at a good place in the 22 convention. It is my interpretation that we have kind of simultaneously disposed of the need to deal with items B and C under new business with that conversation. So unless anyone objects at this time, we can take a brief break for a few minutes before we dive into item D, which is ballot access strategy, unless we'd like to get going now.
Take 15. Resume at noon.
What are you trying to do?
Resume at noon.
Take a break?
We're gonna take a
I was
break,
just
we might as
busting
well
through
just
it.
go through and take lunch.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get through the fun part then. going to be discussing ballot access strategy. I have noted on the agenda some or all of this business item may be restricted to discussion in executive session as authorized pursuant to blah, as we will be discussing matters of political strategy and such that are not a good idea to broadcasting generally. We're not required to. Mr. Nana.
I will move that we enter executive session to include seated members of the executive committee, and yeah, that's it. To discuss legal/political strategy issues.
Do you want to include physical members in the?
I'm very hesitant to.
Let's go with just members and deputies.
Yeah, seated members, which would include yourself and anybody who's an ex officio as well. Anybody else who's an ex officio.
Yeah.
I hate to do it to them, but
I'm also going to make an exception for little Muller.
oh well, yeah. Those who literally won't remember this, they're fine too.
She has a good memory.
All right. So I have heard a motion to enter executive session for the discussion of political strategy on agenda item D here. To be restricted in attendance to seated members of the executive committee, those unable to speak who are physically present.
We try to be very fast.
Yeah, it won't.
It's not going to take 30 minutes. I know that.
All right.
I'll second.
With that, is there a second?
Oh,
All right,
we'll come get you.
second.
Yeah, we'll come get you.
Any
Appreciate you
objection
being
to executive session?
Point of order, entering executive session requires roll call vote.
Yes, it does.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And it also
All
requires
right.
everybody.
Motion has been
through.
made and seconded. Will the secretary please call the roll?
All right, Mr. Cavoli,
Yes.
Mr. Glasgow,
Yes.
Mr. Mueller,
Yes.
Ms. Flower, yes. Mr. Nana,
Yes.
Mr. Strelo,
Yes.
and Mr. Gill.
Yes.
Okay.
And the tally, I believe, was unanimous.
Yes.
Sounds like it's me.
What?
It is unanimous.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
We will stand at ease for a moment as we enter executive session. As I mentioned earlier, this does require a slight delay for the sake of the stream, so hold one. to its live state. So feel free
Coming back
to
at
go.
1 even then?
Sorry?
Want to come back at 1 even so Patrick can use the restroom?
Yes, I was just going to suggest that. We'll resume at 1 p.m. as the stream moves back over to our normal public session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. I feel a lot better.
Friendly reminder that you may also wish to mute the mic while we're at ease.
Of course. It's us.
I have no ill will towards you personally at
That
all.
makes me completely insane because I know the questions.
All right, we are about 45 seconds or so off of resuming. Patrick, can you look at the panel? Mute.
That's
Hey, I'm
Yes.
unmuted.
whatever.
Thanks.
You want me unmuted?
Yeah, I was just saying that we're going to be moving along with the
And
agenda
then
here.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
has an aim to get more.
Yeah, because I have a thing at 1:30. As in,
Okay.
Yep.
I've got another training session at 1:30.
I thought it was 2:30.
I know you do. We have exactly
1:30.
about 30 minutes left on
I
the
hope it's
agenda.
1:30.
Oh, it's 2:30, my friend.
We are
Because
back
I-
at 1
That's
p.m.
fine. Yeah.
I thought
There will be order. All right. We are on the topic
Oh, shit,
of
it's
the
2:30. That's what I
conference
thought.
organizing
That's
committee.
when the Delaware people are showing up too.
Is there any final business on the conference organizing committee to discuss? Mr. Nana.
Yeah, so we do have a speaking slot open now since Hewitt backed out. In fitting with the theme of the convention, I would recommend it be an elected official. That's what his role was going to be, to talk about how to get elected, how to be successful.
We were talking about, a lot of it was like how we were trying to, how local affiliates can help their elected officials.
Right. How does a libertarian get elected to an office with 2 million constituents? But so now that plan B would be, how does a libertarian get elected to State House? And that would be Marshall Burt. So that would be who I recommend. Take it with all consideration you will, because I resigned from the committee, but
I think it's an excellent.
No, yeah.
and he's been to conferences before. He went to Colorado, which is just beneath where he's at in Wyoming.
Can we just,
Can
we handle that dissolution? That needs to.
What's that?
I'm going to enter a motion to dissolve the 2021 Conference Planning Committee.
I'll second that.
There's a motion made and seconded to dissolve the 2021 Conference Organizing Committee. Is there any discussion on that matter?
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
All right. Is there any
just for public discussion? My entrance of this is so that the remainder of the business can be handled by the chair and or the executive committee if needed.
Of which there is not much.
Thank you.
Just one question. Is there anyone organizing volunteers to actually work the event? Has that already been worked out? Checking in and all that stuff?
There's a job posting for it, and I'm gonna probably send another email out to look for volunteers. But
Ultimately, it's going to become our responsibility if nobody does it.
yep.
Okay.
I just assumed I would be doing something to help, so.
One of us always is.
Say we need a couple registration volunteers,
Uh,
and then we need speaker herders.
Personally, ask Linda. She's worked the booths in the past, and I think she enjoys doing it. I don't know if that was just because she was treasurer and wanted to make sure everything was kosher in the past, but she seems to like it. So, I offer it to her and see if she wants to do it. I know she's probably not going to jump on a job posting. She probably doesn't even know it exists.
And then the other thing we need is a bit timekeeper, because we're giving the speakers 45 to 50 minutes. So basically, someone to sit in the back of the room
I can do that.
with a note card and hold up that you've got 5 minutes left or 10 minutes left. And
That can be done by one of
He's
us.
gonna have fancy lights.
Turn the lights off on him. There you go.
That could even be done by the AV team, since we're standing there with cameras
Yeah.
and stuff anyway.
Mhm.
are we gonna have much? I mean, I guess we're recording for our own use, but we're not live streaming this. So.
That is correct for the most part. Excerpts probably will be live streamed. Or at least
State of the
released
State.
publicly afterwards. The State of the State is
The party
what
address,
it's likely
yeah.
to, yeah. Other than that, they're likely destined for internal use only, whatever recordings we do take.
Or after the fact.
Yeah. We don't want to undercut ourselves on attendance, so it won't be real time.
Yeah, the National Party broadcasts the national convention, but that's because, you're still going to have to show up to vote, so that doesn't dissuade
Well, they broadcast the
you from-
floor, but not the breakouts, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, all of the breakouts that happen in the main hall are broadcast. If it happens in a breakout room, yeah, there's no.
Right.
For our event, it's all in the main hall, so that's kind of a
Well, I mean,
Sure.
we broadcast at the convention, but once again, you got to show up to vote.
right. So this is different. Like, we don't want to give all our training away for free. That would be. I mean, it'd be great if everybody wanted to listen, but at the same time, we need to make money.
Yeah. we
So after the
we got a whole hotel to pay for.
Right.
All right. So the motion was made, seconded. I've heard some discussion on it. Is there anything further regarding the motion to dissolve the organizing committee?
No.
Then moving to a vote, is there objection to the motion as made and seconded? Hearing none, the congratulations, the conference is organized. The committee to do so is dissolved.
Yay.
All right. And Mr. Nana entered a recommendation for Marshall Burt as a speaker to the body. I think that is a fabulous suggestion, and I will reach out to try and get in touch with him to see if he would be amenable. Does anyone have any other suggestions?
If we're going a similar line, maybe Laura Ebke if Marshall's not available. Just speaking from her former State House experience.
I think that's another great recommendation. You said Chuck Marshall first, you'd think, and then
Yeah.
fresher win.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more energy right now. So.
He does. Yes.
Also
yes.
got elected with an L after his name.
Right.
Yes,
Which is
he
a
did.
big difference.
That's the other big difference.
Yeah,
He did get
Yes.
elected with an L after his name.
that's true. All right. Anything further on the conference organizing committee? All right, we enter now item F, new business from the floor. Is there any new business from the floor? It's about what I thought. I was pretty sure that with the agenda amendments, we cleaned up everything that people had pending. I'll make one final call for any new business from the floor. All right, and with that, we will move ahead to the closing section of the meeting. We have 10 minutes allowed for public comment.
We only have one gallery member and he's in the room. Do you have public comment?
We have
you guys
no
know
one
about,
online.
Franklin County is planning on hosting what's the word? A room, hospitality room at the conference.
Yes, I knew about that.
I didn't, but it's cool. Good.
Yeah, we're hosting one. Any requests?
Booze? I don't know.
Right.
Cheap booze, go ahead.
Alcohol? No.
Jack Daniels.
So
I may or may not have a variety of Anheuser-Busch
there
beers.
you go.
There may or may not be variety.
You said that the volunteer spots that you needed filled were posted on the job website.
It's just generic, right? It just says volunteer.
Does it say the hours? Or I'm thinking of, I don't know.
If you're going to do credentialing, it would be Friday night. You would need to be there to
Yeah.
check in people for the.
According to the agenda, it'll be an hour before the conference starts on Saturday morning, and then Friday evening before the conference starts.
I wouldn't recommend doing it if you want to catch the conference because you're going to be sitting out in the hall credentialing people.
And if someone does that, do they also have to buy tickets?
We could talk about maybe waiving the ticket fee for somebody who would volunteer for the entirety of the time, but then I would expect that person to volunteer for the entirety of the time, at least personally, for my vote.
No, that makes sense.
I mean, other volunteers, we talked about throwing them a free T-shirt or something.
Gotcha.
So free conference tee.
Or it sounds like if you volunteered all day Friday, then you would not pay for Friday kind of thing or something like that.
Yeah, if you sat outside and sat at the table.
Yeah, if you
all
sat
night,
outside and didn't eat dinner, I mean, yeah, why do you have to
Well,
pay?
I mean, if there's somebody that's willing to sit at the registration table most of the day, I have no problem paying for the
No,
meals,
and
that's
I
what it
agree.
comes down to.
Right.
We've gotten such a great deal with this event that it leaves us a little bit more flexibility. This isn't, $75 a night is insane. I cannot believe that was a real quote. When he sent that over, when I put in the RFP and he sent that,
$75 a night, like, for the whole location.
it's for the
hotel
rooms,
rooms?
for the hotel rooms, which you're in Franklin, you won't need one probably, but yeah,
That is
I
pretty
sent in the RFP
crazy.
and he sent it back $75 and then $500 for the ballroom, and I'm like, this can't be real. I'm like, I sent it back and I'm like, are you really offering me this? And yeah, it was the real thing. So we got in. Thankfully, we went in early. We did all of this negotiation while the pandemic was still in swing or whatever. And right. So all these city hotels, nobody was booking them. Now we went to Mohican and to what's the other one called? Deer Creek or whatever. They had the opposite. They were like, "Oh, everything's a premium because everybody wants to leave the city and like take a staycation."
Everybody they
didn't want to fly, but they wanted to get out of the house. So everything was all booked up, and they had one of their best years on record during the pandemic.
Wow.
So and I'm surprised they let that slip. But
Mr. Shirlow, did you have a response for the public comment?
I was just curious about ticket sales. I mean, we didn't have a meeting last month, and I haven't heard a report from the existing committee. So
he could probably pull it up.
Hold on.
I believe we had 7,500-ish in ticket sales last I knew.
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
which is
Very-
what, 40 attendees?
Think people are.
Hold on. I'm pulling the exact numbers right now.
All right.
You guys are asking stuff that I had up and then I closed.
That's
been a
pretty
long-
solid.
But yeah, 7,500 at this point I think is very good, especially since this isn't business, so people aren't forced to attend this. This is all people who just want to be here. That's great.
There's also a lot of names on here that I've never seen before, which is also Great.
Interesting. Okay.
Also, one other question.
Yes.
On the job board, when it says resume, what exactly are you looking for when you say resume?
For which specific job? Because I don't think the volunteer one asked for a resume.
Well, looking for like the committee members, for like central committee and stuff like that.
Previous committee experience.
Yeah.
But like, so you should only talk about libertarian things?
I mean, you
Talk
can-
about any kind of
anything.
organization or?
Yeah, anything they think would be relevant.
Even job experience,
Job
it gives you an
experience, I mean-
idea of their skill sets.
Right.
Okay.
So we have brought in, we've issued 46 tickets. Granted, some of these tickets, the speakers get issued tickets as well because it accounts for our head count because we've got a max seating. But we have sold $7,455 in ticket sales.
Cool.
Okay.
How many bodies?
I agree.
Excluding the vendors tables, that is 42 bodies. And our total capacity is 100.
We got a little bit. We got room to grow.
So
And that actually, I think our capacity might be more now that the pandemic's completely gone. But
we budgeted on 60.
In any
Yeah.
case, is there any other public comment? Which, again, as a reminder, the body may or may not respond to.
I don't have anything.
Make a motion
I'll
to
move
close
to end public comment early.
Yeah.
Second.
Was anything
All right.
posted?
There's been a motion made and seconded to now close public comment. Any objection? Hearing none, that will conclude the public comment portion of the meeting, and I would just like to end that with an invitation to all members to come on out to the 2021 conference. Visit lpo.org. It's right there under events. It's going to be a great time, as we all just heard about. And if you can volunteer to help out, check that out on the jobs board at lpo.org/jobs. And while you're there, go ahead and look for all the other things that we need some help with, and throw your hat in the ring. We'd really appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Having disposed of public comment, the final remaining order of business is to set the next regular meeting. We have held to a roughly monthly schedule, barring extenuating circumstances this year. However, we do have the conference is going to be August 20th, 21st, and 22nd. There's probably ample time to get a good July meeting in if we would
yeah.
like to.
Do you have a suggestion for
I
a
was gonna
day?
say the 12th. The
Wait,
19th I may have to
No,
miss
you're
if we
on a
do.
Monday. You're on the wrong.
You're on the wrong month.
Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
date of the next
Um,
central committee
the
meeting
10th?
is the 10th.
Yeah, the central committee meeting is meeting on the 10th, and also the first weekend of July includes the 4th.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the
there,
only-
Delaware County has an event on the 3rd, actually, so I wouldn't.
And the 17th I would not be able to make it, but
I can't make the 17th.
Okay, so 17th is out.
so let's do the 10th.
The
A half
10th
hour
isn't only in 2
after.
weeks.
Yeah, the
How
10th
about
is
the
only in 2
24th?
weeks.
Yeah,
I'm
the
going to say
24th.
this, that the 10th is
I'm okay. I'm
only
open to
2
it.
weeks, and the central committee has a non-fun
Massive
business agenda.
Like, massive
Okay,
agenda.
the 24th.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to recommend, so I'm cool with 24.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn until July 24th at 11 a.m.
Don't do that, because then we're in the same meeting. Then we've
Adjourn until.
Right. If you adjourn until, we're in the same meeting technically.
You would like to what I heard there, Mr. Glasgow, was that you would like to set the date of the next regular executive
that.
committee meeting to be July 24th, 2021 at 11 a.m. at the Libertarian Party of Ohio's offices and by the usual electronic means. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You got it.
Excellent.
Is everybody married to 11 a.m.?
What
Do
would
you
you
want
like?
it to, what do you, your
I
part?
can do whatever.
Oh, God.
10
That's
a.m.
terrible
at
for
least.
people to drive
I
in.
mean, even at 10, you can sleep in.
If everyone wants 11, I'll make 11.
I'm
It
going
just
to
kind of
midnight.
cuts us out right
I'm
now.
going to midnight shift, so actually the closer to 7 would be great because I get off work at 7,
That's true.
and so I could literally just
I
stay
could
here
do
after work.
9.
I
I
do
don't
not
know
care.
about 7.
Let's say
Yeah,
8
if
or
you're
9 might
drive
be
in,
more
it'd be
reasonable.
Pressed.
Let's do 9.
9
Let's
is
try
great.
9
That's fine
if we
with
like
You
it.
can do 9. Yes.
Well, that
I'm fine.
forces me to attend
I have to wake
online.
me up,
There's
though.
no way I'm driving
Apparently
down
you're
there that early.
I'm gonna get up at 5 a.m. to get here instead.
Hold
of
on,
figure
what did
it
Derek
out.
All
say?
right.
At 4 a.m. every day.
Hey, order, little bit
I'm
of order.
just saying that
Mr. Strillo,
9 a.m. 9 a.m. forces me to attend remotely instead of in person because I'm not leaving my house at 6:30 to get down there. So
Why don't we
will
just
be
do 11
remote.
so everybody that
No,
wants to
no.
be here can be here?
You guys,
I
no,
would say we do
I will
11
go
then, so
remote.
everybody that wants to be here can be here. No offense to Mr. Moeller.
Well, just
That's
whether or
fine.
not just Mr. Strelo intend to.
Yeah, are you
intend
going to be
I,
here?
I will say that I do try to make some in person. If 9 a.m. is easier for the rest of the body, I will commit to attending online.
I'm just saying because you're probably. Are you going to be here in person for the
'cause that's-
CENTCOM meeting?
I have to be
You're
at
gonna
vice
work-
chair,
okay.
so
Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, I would say let's go with 9 and then.
Can you make 9 or 10 rather?
I can make 9 online, so that's fine. I will just attend
Right.
online.
Let's just do 9.
Well,
That way you
Sounds
won't
like-
have
Well,
to drive.
I don't care.
sounds like he
I-
wants to drive down, but I mean,
I mean,
here, all right. Let me ask you a question. Do
So-
you want to drive down? Is that why you're asking for 11?
I'm not asking for 11. I'm just pointing out that if we go earlier, I must attend remotely because I'm not driving down that early. So
What's
That's
I
fine.
was
What's
told
the
when
earliest you
I
can?
was
If you were going to drive down, what would be the earliest you would be comfortable with?
10.
10.
Can we do 10?
Just make it 10.
let's make it
10
10.
it is.
10 it is. That's a good compromise.
Okay,
All right,
so
now I'll put it in my phone.
I did not hear a second from Mr. Glasgow's motion, so we've moved
Second.
on from that. Is there a
I moved to
motion
amend the time to 10 a.m.
Well, it wasn't seconded. So
Well, he was
what
trying
I
to
heard
avoid it.
was that Mr. Strillo has moved to set the date of the next regular executive committee meeting to be the 24th of July, 2021, at the Libertarian Party of Ohio offices and electronically by the usual means at 10 a.m.
What I heard was
That's
I second that motion that I also heard.
Lovely. In that case, that would be a motion made and seconded, which I believe I did hear correctly, right, Mr. Strillo?
Correct.
All right. In that case, is there any objection to setting the next meeting as such?
oh god.
All right. And with that, the next meeting is set. We'll see you all on July 24th. And having exhausted the agenda, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jimmy back in the cabinet. There's nothing.
All right, talk to y'all later.
Hey, yeah.